me what they wanna see me for. Hit me out, here we go. What's the re-report? Tell me what they wanna see me for. Hit me out, here we go. What's the re-report? Tell me what they wanna see me for. Hit me out, here we go. What's the re-report? Tell me what they wanna see me for. Hit me out, here we go. What's the re-report? Bring it to you live.
Welcome to the re-report. Appreciate you guys taking this time to hear me out. We are not quite done with week 17 of the NFL season. To think that this used to be a time where the regular season was officially over. But of course, we have that 18th game that's been in place for since 2022 or so, or 2021. 18 game schedule. But yeah, we still have the Detroit Lions and the San Francisco 49ers on Monday Night Football. But we just want to recap, I guess, Sunday and just look at where we stand in the playoff standings and things like that. Because I predict, regardless of what happens between San Francisco's already eliminated, and regardless of what happened in that game, even if Detroit wins, they'll still be playing Minnesota for the 1 seed and the division next Sunday Night Football, actually. So I'm just going to go talk, see, go around, see what's already clinched and see, matchups and things like that and possibilities. So be sure to hit that like button, subscribe to the video, and let's dive into it. As we are right here in the playoff standings for the 2024 season. As we know, the Kansas City Chiefs have already clinched the 1 seed in the division. They are currently 15-1. Buffalo has clinched the 2 seed, so no matter what happens next week, they'll be the 2 seed. Baltimore will be the 3 seed. Houston can't move past them, or Baltimore or Pittsburgh, I should say, but I'm obviously pulling for Baltimore, and I think Baltimore will get it. Houston will be the 4 seed regardless of what happens. You look at Houston, man, they're a mess. Easily the worst playoff team, I think, of either conference, AFC and NFC. But we'll see. You got Pittsburgh currently at the 5th seed, and you got the Chargers, they're in 6th, and then Denver currently controls the 7th seed. Miami's still alive. Cincinnati's still alive. Now, I think Cincinnati has to beat Pittsburgh next week. And do they need help? I think based on these standings now, they need Miami to lose to, if I'm not mistaken, Miami. If the Patriots play the Jets, then Miami plays, the Patriots play the Bills. So Miami will play the Jets. So Miami just needs to win, and they need some help. Bengals need to win. That's the first thing all these teams need to do, is just take care of what they can control. So Miami controls the spot over Cincinnati because they win the tiebreaker based on best win percentage in the conference. They are currently 6-5 in the conference, and the Bengals are 5-6. So if the Bengals win and the Dolphins lose to the Jets and the Broncos lose to the Chiefs, then the Bengals would get in. But if all Denver has to do is win, they're in. Doesn't matter what happened with Miami or Cincinnati. All Denver controls their own destiny to get that last spot. Not sure the head-to-head between Denver and LA, between Denver and the Chargers. Let's see how those two have fared against each other this year. Let me check that out. Denver, the Chargers beat them. Oh, the Chargers beat them last week, 34-27, and earlier in the season, Okay, so the Chargers won both matchups. So Denver can't pass LA, even if LA loses next week. Denver can't pass them in the standings. So Denver will, the Chargers will be, are they locked at 6? No, they lost to the Steelers. So they are pretty much locked. Yeah, they lost to the Steelers and the Ravens. So, they lost to the Steelers and the Ravens. So they are locked in that 6th spot, it appears. They're locked in the 6th spot. So the Chargers is going to play the winner of the AFC North. and that'll be Baltimore-Pittsburgh. And of course, I'm pulling for Baltimore. That's who I think is going to win. Also, not only am I rooting for them, but I think they're going to win. And that was the Chargers, the franchise. I won't say team because it's a different team now from 6-7 years ago. But that was the first franchise Lamar Jackson played in the postseason where he had that bad showing. And it seemed like as soon as he had that, it seemed like they set that standard or put that on Lamar right after his first playoff game, if y'all remember. Oh, he doesn't show up and perform well in the playoffs. After his first playoff game, I felt like I heard that. He started halfway through the season after they benched Flacco. He started the last 8 games in 2018. Go to the Chargers. They go to they went to. Did they go to the Chargers? No, the Chargers were the wild card team. The Chargers came to them because Baltimore won a division, if I'm not mistaken. But whatever. Yeah. As soon as that game was in, Lamar didn't have a good showing in that game. It wasn't a good game. It was his first playoff game. His 9th game of his career was a postseason game. And as soon as that game was over, it's like the stigma was on him. Oh, he doesn't perform well in the playoffs. They just put that on him right after that. But that's what that matchup is likely going to be, because I got Cincinnati beating Pittsburgh next week. And even so, I got Baltimore beating Cleveland, so Baltimore control their own destiny in terms of the division. All they got to do is win, and they have the division. So it doesn't matter what Pittsburgh does after that or what happens after that. So that's likely going to be your wild card matchup. You got Baltimore versus the Chargers. And for the 7th spot, I'm hoping it's Cincinnati. Yeah, I want it to be Cincinnati. We're on to Cincinnati. I just prefer to see them in the playoffs, because if the Bengals get that 7th spot, and I think they will, then oh boy, hear me out. Oh boy. If the Bengals get that 7th seed and they have to go to Buffalo to play the Bills, Joe Burrow going back to a place he's so familiar with, the Bills could be in some trouble. Now, I'm not one who's saying, oh, I'm against the Bills. I don't like the Bills. If the Bills succeed, I don't care. I would prefer, like I said, if you've seen my prediction videos and things, I'm going for the Ravens all the way, at least in this conference. We'll talk about the other conference in a bit, but I want it to be Cincy. I think everybody wants it to be Cincy because the last time these two teams played in the postseason, it wasn't even close. It was after that DeMar Hamlin situation. They had a canceled Monday Night Football game late in the season. And then they ended up meeting in the postseason in Buffalo in the snow. And that game was not close at all. The Bills completely just got, if they ain't playing the Chiefs, they playing the Bengals. And if they playing any other team outside of the Chiefs, the game ain't close. But I hope it's Cincinnati. Bills fans, it'll be a good first round test. I would still probably pick the Bills to win the game. It'll be kind of like Detroit versus, who did they play first? Tampa or LA? They played the Rams first. Detroit versus the Rams last year, where they had to hang on to win the game. And even Tampa, that one was a close one as well with the Lions. It'll be like that. So I would still probably pick Buffalo. I have to see what's going on if it happens. But that'll be a good test because you wouldn't really be playing a true number 7 seed. I mean, well, then again, yeah, you would, because the Bengals have underachieved. I can't even look at them and say, oh, they lost close games and blah, blah, blah. You are what your record is. Regardless of how good Joe Burrow has been playing and Jamar Chase, you are what your record is. I don't care how many close games you lose. So I'm pulling for Cincy to get that 7th spot. So it'll be them in Buffalo, and then you'll have Pittsburgh versus Houston. That's a toss-up right there. It's like that in every sport where you have those like in college basketball and NCAA tournament when you have the 8 seed versus the 9th seed, and NBA where you have the who is it, the 4 versus 5. Those two seeds that are just so close to each other in the middle. Like right here we got 3-4. It's always a toss up game. It's always a toss up where you look at it and you say, "Oh, this series is gonna go to 7 games." This football game right here, Pittsburgh and 4 or 5. I think I said 3-4 earlier. Pittsburgh is not going to win the division. So 4 or 5, it'll be Texans and Steelers. That one will probably be that'll probably be the game where it ended up on ESPN Monday night or something like that. That's not the desirable game to cover. That's the least of all the games right there, of the playoff games, because Chargers in the playoffs, first year under Harbaugh, going against the Ravens, that'll be a big one. If it's the Bengals going against the Bills, that'll be probably the best one. We'll get to the NFC and see. But Steelers and Texans, it's just because of what has happened to the Texans and the injuries and all that stuff. So they of course, the expectations were crazy. I think in my predictions video, I had them finishing 11-6 as the 4th seed. I think I had them at the 4th seed even in my predictions video. Who did I actually? That's actually interesting. Who did I have in, and how did my predictions fare out? Let's go take a look at that. So in the AFC East, I had the Jets. Dang. I don't even want to look at this no more. I had the Jets winning that division at 11-6. I did have confidence in those New York Jets. Sad to say, I did have confidence in them. I did think that they would be better than what they were. But yeah, let's just leave this in the past. So I had the Jets winning the division. I had the Dolphins finishing 9-8, which they still can if they beat the whoever they play, the Jets. Yeah, they beat the Jets. I had the Bills. A lot of people had the Bills regressing, so I don't feel bad about putting the Bills so low. So I had the Bills finishing 3rd at 9-8, and I had New England at 2-15. So that's that. In the North, I had Baltimore winning the division at 12-5, and I think they have, what do they have? They have 12 already, right? They have 11 right now, so I'm gonna be right on the money on them. And I had Cincy at 11-6, which a lot of, I had them better than what they were. Cincy should have been better than what they were, way better than what they were. Cleveland, I had the Cleveland Browns going 9-8. Again, that's another talented team. I don't feel bad about putting that, but Deshaun Watson, of course, saw the story or something about him restructuring his contract. So they should have been better than that. And Mike Tomlin will just never have a losing season. He will never have a losing season. I tried to give him one this year. He wouldn't take it. I had the Steelers going 4-14. That's what it was. And you look at them now, they're already in the playoffs. I was going to say they're fighting for a playoff spot, but they're already in the playoffs. I had them as a top draft pick. In the South, I had the Texans 11-6. I still thought that they would be the least of the, the Chiefs, Ravens, Bengals, and all those teams, even with the addition of Stephon Diggs and all that. I still had them going 11-6. Jags, 7-10, along with Indy, and 4-13 Titans. What are the Titans record? I'm gonna take one where I can get it. Titans are 3-13, so the Titans can still do it. The Patriots has exceeded the amount of wins I thought they would have at 3. I picked them to have 2. So the Titans can still finish right on the money. I can still hit on that one. Indy and Jacksonville. Indy and Jacksonville. Okay. So they just said, Jacksonville 4-12. I was way off on them. But Indy can go exactly 7-10 if they lose next week. So yep, that's the West. Let's keep going. Oh, and then the West. Here's the West. Not that. I had the Chiefs going 13-4, and they were 15-1, looking to go 16-1 next week against the Broncos. I had the Denver and the Chargers. Yes, I did not have the Chargers doing what they're doing. So in both they and Denver, both the Chargers and the Broncos are both looking to go 10-7 actually, or one can go 11-6. They both proved me wrong in a major way because, excuse me, they are playoff bound. Well, at least the Chargers are. The Broncos are still trying to get in. They just got to win. But again, they control their own destiny. Vegas, I have Vegas going 3-14. How many? The Raiders got 4 wins. Yeah, they were screwing themselves royally out of that first round draft pick. I would have loved to see Shedeur Sanders go to Las Vegas. But that's just because I like Bryce Young. I don't think Carolina needs to draft him. Shedeur Sanders, I like Bryce Young. So I had the Raiders going 3-14. We're going to get to the NFC. So we're going to skip ahead real quick. Bam, bam, bam. And this right here was just like teams I thought with expectations. I feel like the Bears had expectations, but they could have, but it was very possible that they would disappoint. And I had the Colts, another team who I thought, I thought they would be, what was it? They would be better than what people thought. I thought the Bears would be better than what people thought, but they weren't. And I thought the Colts would be better than what people thought they were going to be, but they weren't. And I had the 49ers. I hit on this one. I said that to look out, that this is a team that is probably going to make the playoffs, probably going, you know what I'm saying, make a run, but don't be surprised if they don't. Don't be surprised if they don't make it. So that's what I had on the 49ers. It's just because of how that Super Bowl ended and how it went. Like two Super Bowls against the same franchise in 4 years, and you lose like that both times. So I thought that would be, and injuries did play a role. I will give y'all that, Niner Nation. But I thought that there was a chance that they could have the season that they're having. And the Ravens were another team who I thought would have expectations but disappointed, but they didn't. And yeah. So here was my playoff picture in the AFC. This was my playoff picture right here. Let me take that off down then. I had the Chiefs as the 1 seed, which they are. I had the Ravens as a 2 seed, which they won't be. I think earlier I said I had the Texans as the 4 seed, but I was wrong. I had them at the 3rd seed, winning the tiebreaker over the Jets. I had the Jets as the 4 seed. So way off. The Jets are not even in the playoffs. Bengals can still get in, but they won't be the 5 seed. Dolphins and Bills, 6 and 7. Those spots, Denver or the Chargers and the Steelers have taken, and the Bengals are trying to get in. Dolphins won't. Dolphins still have a chance. So I still have a chance to get 3, 4, 5. I still have a chance to get the teams in that I thought would get in, with the exception with the Jets out and who clinched over here that I. Oh, the Steelers. Yeah, the Steelers. The Steelers are the team who I didn't have in, but are in, and the Jets are the team that I had in and won't make it. So I still have a chance to be really good on my AFC playoff predictions right here. And then in the wild card, I had Ravens. Yeah, I had Ravens versus Bills in the wild card. And please hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, hit the like button, leave a comment. Let me know what you guys think this is going to be. I'm just talking right here this evening. Just talking. Going over as we close out the season pretty much. Not quite, but almost. Can you believe it's been 17 weeks? I feel like we just started. Anyway, I had Ravens beating the Bills in the wild card round, but this matchup won't happen, at least in the wild card round. I had Texans beating the Dolphins in the wild card round. Matchup will not happen. This matchup ain't gonna happen in the wild card round. I had the Bengals beating the Jets in the wild card round. This matchup is for sure not happening. And this is divisional round. I had the Chiefs beating the Bengals in the divisional round of the AFC. And I had the Ravens beating the Texans in a rematch of the divisional round of the AFC. It could happen still. I think it still could happen. I think so. And of course, in the AFC Championship, let's take that back a little bit. Take that back right there. Okay, there we go. I had Ravens beating the Chiefs in the AFC Championship in a rematch of last season. at the Ravens beating the Chiefs in a rematch. So that's that. And now let's go. As you can see, like I said, the Raiders are just screwing themselves out of that number 1 pick. Now let's go to the NFC. Going to the NFC. And here's how things are looking in the NFC. So the Seahawks are eliminated because of strength of schedule, because the Rams had the people that won today that they needed. So next week it won't be for the division. The Rams and the Seahawks will not be playing for the AFC West Championship. So, but next week, for the playoffs, as of now, if the season ended today, we got Packers. They're not clinched in that 7th spot, but right now they currently have that 7th spot. Falcons can still win a division. All the Falcons, well, not all, they don't control their destiny anymore. The Falcons need to win and hope the Bucks lose, which is a tough task next week in order for them to win the NFC South, because the Bucks play the Saints and the Falcons play the Panthers. One of those teams is going to lose. But both of them could still win, which is the biggest possibility. And the Bucks will still win a division. But the Falcons have screwed themselves, especially with that game over the Commanders. They had it, and they let it go. So they still alive, though. They just need some help getting in. Plus, taking care of their own business. They need to beat beat Carolina, which they probably will do. Panthers have no reason to keep winning games. We already know what we got in Bryce Young. We know what we need to get in the draft. We're good. So Seattle's eliminated. They have a winning record, though. I don't think I predicted them to have one, though, in my prediction video. But Packers are not locked in that spot right there. Washington hold the tiebreaker over them based on win percentage in conference. Green Bay 6-5, and Washington's 8-3. So Washington plays Dallas next week, and Green Bay plays Chicago. So there is a better chance, honestly, of Green Bay getting that 6th seed. There's a better chance of the Packers getting that 6th spot, because Washington could lose to Dallas. And also Green Bay could lose to Chicago, but I think the most likely Washington losing to Dallas more than Green Bay losing to Chicago, because they own that franchise. And then you got the Lions and the Vikings playing for the NFC North Championship next week. That's interesting. Lions and Vikings. Both teams with 14 and 13 wins, and one of those teams are going to have to play the wild card round on the road. Now, I'm not opposed to it. I see Tampa's a record, and possibly Atlanta if they get the spot. And I know people say, oh, that's not fair or whatever, but hey, that's what your division is for. Win it, and you get home field advantage, and you get a home game guaranteed, at least in the first round if you're not a bye team. So that's the perks of winning a divisional championship, is that you get to play at least one game in front of your home crowd. So win your division and you're in. But even though it's still crazy to look at, like to see a 5th seed with 13 wins right there. You see that? 13 wins in 17 games, and they still have 2 more left. They could go. You got both these teams with 14 wins. Well, yeah, both with 14 wins, or somebody with 14 wins is going to be playing on the road, because they'll most likely beat San Francisco tomorrow. But next week, again, that's going to be a big Sunday night game. Lions and Vikings for the NFC North Championship, and a first-round bye on the line. Don't get much bigger than that in the regular season. It's not getting much bigger than that. Buccaneers, yeah, we talked about them. Rams, yeah, Rams won the division. So what's locked? And is anything locked? Philly's locked in the 2 spot, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, Philly's locked in the 2 spot. So nothing is locked yet. But if I'm going by what I said earlier was likely, what do I think is going to happen next week? Tampa's going to win the division. Atlanta has screwed themselves again. Tampa is going to win that division. They're not going to lose to the Saints, so they'll be the 4 seed. They'll be the 4 seed. Rams will be the 3 seed. I got Green Bay beating Minnesota. Green Bay. I got Detroit beating Minnesota. So Detroit will be the 1 seed. Minnesota will be the 5 seed. I'm gonna still take Washington to beat Dallas, and I'm still gonna take the 6 and 7 spot to be the same. Green Bay will be the 7 seed. Washington will be the 6 seed. I think that's how that's gonna play out. So that means it'll be Green Bay versus Philly, a week 1 rematch, right? Didn't they play in week 1 or something? Yeah, in Brazil. That'll be a week 1 rematch. Green Bay and Philly will play in Philly, and I don't see, you know what I'm saying, Jalen Hurts should be good by then. They kept him out this week, and they still look good with both backup quarterbacks. So that'll be that matchup. Green Bay versus Philly. Philly would probably win. Washington would play the Rams. Did they play each other this regular season? Let's see if Washington and the Rams played each other. I don't recall. See, football is so easy to follow. You can pretty much know off the bat if a team played each other. No, they did not. They have not played each other this year. The Commanders and the Rams. So Washington, see, that's a winnable game for Washington. They can go to LA and beat the Rams. They can go to LA and they can definitely go to LA and beat the Rams. I would like their chances better against the Rams and the Eagles. I think with Hurts there, the Eagles would I'll just say they'll wash them. I think they were on their way to doing that last week before Hurts got hurt. No pun intended. So I would take. I like their chances better. I think they do as well. So I think it would be in their best interest to beat the Cowboys so that they can come out to LA. And I think it'll be a packed crowd. It will be a packed crowd, and there'll be a lot of Commander fans there. Remember, that's Los Angeles. I seen that place with a lot of Panther fans in it when Carolina came out there. So you'll have that. That's a good matchup for the rookie, for Jaden Daniels. If you're asking me right now, do I think he win? I would probably still pick the Rams to win that game. I'd probably still pick the Rams at defense. But then you would have Minnesota, and this is just what I think is going to happen. I think Detroit again. Detroit is going to beat Minnesota for the 1 seed. But you have Minnesota versus Tampa Bay, and I think Tampa would get them slightly. And I'm not saying that Minnesota is a fraud. I don't think they're a fraud as a 14-2 team as they were a couple years ago when they were a 12-4 or 13-4 team a few years ago with Kirk Cousins. I knew that team was a fraud or frauds. But this team right here, I still think Tampa, because I think Tampa is better than what their record is. But we ain't doing that right now. You know what? Yeah, we're just going to leave it there. We ain't going to go through the whole thing. But let's see what I predicted, though. Let's see what I predicted. So we went to the AFC. Here's the NFC. So I predicted this. I predicted Philly would win a division at 12-5, and they've exceeded 12 wins with 13. I predicted Washington to go 10-7, and they have 10 wins currently. So I could still be right on the money if they lose next week, but I prefer they win. And I predicted Dallas will go 9-8. I think they were right there, headed there still. Even had Dak Prescott not gotten hurt, I think they would have been a 9-8 team. So right now, yeah, they're not going to get to 9 wins this year. And I had the Giants going 3-14. How many wins did the Giants have actually? Yeah, they got 3 wins, so I could be right on the money with the Giants. And Dallas has 7, so most they can get is 8. So that was my NFC East, and I got that champion pick correctly. AFC East was incorrect. AFC East was incorrect. Let me see. Yeah, AFC East was incorrect. I had the Jets, and they didn't. I had Baltimore there. I'll probably most likely get this one correct, so we still don't know yet. And I had this one correct, so 2, 3. So I had 3 pretty much in AFC, and 4, I got Philly. I had Philly winning this one, and then I had Detroit winning this one. So I had Detroit winning 12 games, going 12-5. I had Detroit going 12-5. I had Green Bay going 11-6. I had Chicago going 8-9, and oh boy, I don't even want to look at it down there. I don't even want to look at it down there. Look what I did. Look at the bad thing I did down there, family. Look at the bad thing I did. I had Minnesota going 4-13. Don't come for me, Viking Nation. I knew y'all had talent, but I ain't see no quarterback, and I ain't know Sam Darnold was gonna do this. But that talent out there, man, is wild. Like I said, man, even though I would probably, like at the moment, would still probably say Baker them over the Vikings. I wouldn't take Baker them to beat the Lions, but I'd take them to beat the Vikings if that ended up being the matchup. But I still don't think Minnesota are frauds. I just do think Tampa Bay is that good. I still think they're good, and I still think they're capable of winning that game. But yeah, I disrespected Minnesota 4-13. That's disrespect. But I still got this division. Well, I don't have it yet, but almost. I almost got this division wrapped up. But I did have Green Bay going 11-6, and they are currently 10-5. What are they? Yeah, 11-5. So they have their wins. They have the win total. So they lose next week, which I don't think they will against Chicago. They'll have the amount I predicted they would have. What's the next division? My division. Oh, boy. If you thought I whiffed on that Minnesota prediction, wait till y'all already see it, huh? Y'all already see it. I just want to skip this one. Oh, they're still there. Yeah, so let me explain. So I just like the Panthers coming into this season, man. I really did. And it's crazy how much things has changed. Deontay Johnson has just picked up, playing for his third team this year already, who we had to start the season. Carolina, he was playing for Baltimore. Didn't work out there. Now he's on the Texans, and we improved the offensive line. I thought Bryce would be better. He did get better, but not out the gate. And in the beginning, especially against the Saints in week 1, it was same old. And yeah, this is what we got. So I did have Carolina going 10-7. Hope y'all can, be easy on me on that one. You can look at my face. You can tell I didn't believe that. I did believe it, but right now this is the real face I have looking at it. Look at that face. Atlanta I had going 10-7. Jeez, they were supposed to be. Y'all see this? They were supposed to be. Now they can't even get the 10 wins. 9 is the most they can win, so I'll be whatever. Tampa and New Orleans. New Orleans 6-11, Tampa 6-11, and Tampa, of course, Tampa Bay on their way to winning 10 games to go 10-7 to clinch this division for how many years in a row would this be for Tampa? 3? 2020, when they first got Brady, they didn't win it. They were a wild card, won the Super Bowl 21, 22, 23, 24. Maybe 4 years in a row. Tampa's looking for their 4th straight NFC South championship. The last team that did that was the Saints, the team before. From 2017, 18, 19, and 20, the Saints. And then Falcons won it in 16, and the Panthers won it 3 years prior, 3 years straight. And but yeah, those were the glory days of Carolina. So we're gonna stay here, man. We hopefully, you know what I'm saying, we can get back there soon. But yeah, so this is the NFC South. I was completely just wrong on, completely wrong. Yeah, I'm gonna move away from this one. So let's go to the West. I had San Francisco. I told y'all earlier that this was a team that I thought could possibly disappoint, but would probably succeed. But I wouldn't be surprised if they would have been a disappointment. And I guess you can call it a disappointment. They didn't, you know what I'm saying? They should have been Super Bowl champions last year. I had them going 11-6, and they are not even making the playoffs. And the Rams, I had the Rams going 9-8, and I had the Seahawks going 5-12. They proved me wrong, and the Cardinals proved me wrong too. I had them winning just 4 games. And they exceeded expectations. The Cardinals are currently at 7 wins, and I had them winning just 4 games. So I was wrong on this division. But I still thought the Rams could be an okay team. I didn't think they would be terrible. So yeah, we've been here, and now we're in the NFC. So these were my NFC teams. I had the Eagles going 12-5. I had the Eagles as the 1 seed. I had the Lions as the 2 seed, but that's going to be flipped. Lions will be the 1 seed. Eagles will be the 2 seed. I had the Niners as the 3rd seed, but that's the Rams. So I did have the right division in that seed. So I'll take it. 4 seed. Let's just not talk about it. The 4 seed will actually be the right division. Again, the right division. The Buccaneers. I think it's going to be Tampa. 5 seed will be Minnesota, in my prediction. But I had Green Bay in that spot. And the 6 seed will be the Commanders. I had them at 7. And the Falcons at 6. But the Packers will actually be 6. So Falcons are probably not going to get in. Panthers won't get in. Niners won't get in. So I did better in the NFC. But the Commanders are a team I'm proud of. A team I'm proud to have picked to go 10-7 because I knew that they would be a much better team. You saw the moves they made in free agency. Of course, they have a lot of former Panthers out there. They have a lot of former guys from our team out there. So, yep, those were my NFC predictions. And then my matchups, I said in the wildcard round, I had Detroit beating Washington, 2 seed versus 7. But this matchup, I don't think it's going to happen. And then I had Green Bay over Carolina. Why would I even put them in if I had them losing in the first round? I gotta understand, man. I was fresh out of rehab, the hospital from back surgery at the time. So forgive me. That's my out right there. That's my out right there. I was fresh from having back surgery and from rehabbing my back and getting back into the thick of things. Look how skinny I was. Look at that. I wasn't right. So give me a pass. I had I spent some time on this one. I had Green Bay. So that was all those. Let's see. Boom, boom. There had to be one more, right? Did I miss something? So Washington. So 7 versus 2. 6. I think I missed one. I don't think I did this right. Anyway, in the divisional round, I had Philly beating Green Bay. And I had... Wait, where's the Falcons? How did I miss this? Unless the video just moved too fast. I had the Lions beating the Niners in the rematch. And, hold on, man, I'm tripping. So, Falcons would have played the Niners. Yeah, man, my brain was not right. Anyway. So, I had Philly beating the Lions in the NFC Championship game. This was my NFC Championship prediction. I had Philly taking out Detroit. So in order for them to do this, they're going to have to go to Detroit to do it if Detroit can win the division. And in the Super Bowl, I had Eagles and Ravens. Just a refresher, these were my picks. I had Eagles versus Ravens. Same Super Bowl prediction as last season. Same as last season. Same this year. So this is my prediction for Super Bowl 50. Where we at? 59. And did I put a score? I thought I put a score. Oh, I did. It's 27. I had Eagles winning 27-21 over the Ravens. So yeah. So yep, that's that'll put a bow on things. We'll see how things play out. We're going to do official predictions, of course, when the playoff field is set. But again, in terms of next week, I do got Minnesota winning. Sorry, not Minnesota. I just said it because I saw them at the top. Detroit winning the division and being the 1 seed. I do have that happening. Kansas City has already clinched the 1 seed up here. And yeah, it's pretty much almost set in the AFC. But the NFC still got a lot of work, but I appreciate you guys for taking the time to hear me out. Be sure to like, share, comment, subscribe. And yeah, we will see you guys soon. Y'all have a good one. Stay blessed.
Hear me out. Here we go with the Reed Report. Bring it to you live. On time. Bring it bring it to you live.